So when we talk too about like kids maybe misbehaving or acting out a certain way that might trigger us, you talk more about setting more boundaries versus punishment.
Right.
And I thought this was so interesting. So, well, first, what does that mean? And then second, why should parents opt for setting boundaries instead of punishments? What's kind of each side of it?
Well, let me tell you a story because something happened this morning. My 19-month-old was upset because I don't know, he wanted something off the counter. And I went to go pick him up and give him a hug. And so what did he do? He started trying to scratch me and swatted at my face a few times. Traditional parenting is all about punishments. No, hitting is bad. Go into the chair. And when your body, go in the chair and think about what you did. He's 19 months. So maybe we give him 1 minute in the chair, 1 minute in the chair. So I am giving a punitive response to the child saying, you are not able to communicate effectively to me. And so I'm going to disconnect from you.
Mm,
Now, we're aware of what is happening for a child this age. We're really strongly, this young children this age are feeling the fear of losing a parent. So
mm,
when I am separating that child, I'm actually activating all that fear circuitry in the child's brain, saying, yes, you will lose me. You will not when you need me. So when you're acting big and strong and you actually need me in those moments, I'm not going to give it to you because you only are going to get me on a conditional level. You're only going to get me when you're behaving in the ways that I expect you to behave. Now, this
mm,
creates a very complicated, you know, issue for a young child because children cannot, they're not very good at trying to guess how we might react. So they'll take many different kinds of stabs at it, hoping that they get it right. But there's going to be a lot of inconsistencies because now it's not about I need to help, I need my adult to help me get my needs met. Now it's I have to behave in the right way, even though I don't actually know what that is, and I don't actually have the impulse control and the mature brain to be able to anticipate what that might be. And now we're going to be constantly set up for failure. So that's the concept of punishment. It's meant to be punitive, inflict pain, inflict harm. And from a traditional lens, the idea is, well, it helps extinguish the behavior. If you punish a child for hitting you in the face or for scratching you in the face, then the child will never hit or scratch again. And I'm like, have you ever been around children? That does not actually stop the behavior at all. Children will still hit and scratch again. And then the traditional parenting, paradigms will say, well, then you need to hit them harder, or you need to punish them longer, or you need to take something away. And what does it feed? It feeds power struggles between children and parents. It teaches children to fear their parents. And then we're surprised when teenagers lock themselves in the room and keep scary, dark secrets from parents and don't come to parents for comfort in times that are really serious and crisis times when they actually need parents. Because we taught them very early on, I will not be available for you when you're struggling, when things are hard. This is why
mm,
I'm pretty I'm anti-punishment. And to be honest, I'm pretty anti-punishment across the board. Even in practically all aspects of life, I do not see punishment being healthy or even helpful. I believe in restorative justice. And so I take a restorative justice approach even in the home. And that's where I believe boundaries are different. So here's what I did. My child slapped me in my face. I turned his body around so that his hands were no longer available for me. And I held his arms and I was very slow and I was very intentional in my movement because I want to make sure that my anxiety is not feeding into what's going on for him and then exacerbating the stress that he is clearly feeling. So
mm,
what I did was very slowly held his arms in a loving way. I'm not holding them in any kind of harsh way. I'm not pinching him. I'm not doing anything that could be physically harmful to him. And I sat down in the chair and I put him in his lap and I whispered into his ear, I cannot let you hit. And then he started to cry and cry, and his body got softer and he melted more into me. I said, I know, baby. This is very, very hard. You want something, it's important to you. Still, I cannot let you hit. Less than 30 seconds later, he turned around, gave me a great big hug, gave me a kiss on my cheek, crawled off my lap, and went on and moved on with whatever it was. It was no longer an issue. The whole thing on the
mhm,
counter, no longer an issue. That was the
mhm,
boundary. My limit was very clear. I can't let you do this. And I communicated in a way that was soothing to his nervous system, not further activating his nervous system. These are
Mhm.
healthy boundaries. I'm not just going to let my kids slap me in my face because I'm being a conscious parent and letting my kid do whatever they want. That's not
Mhm.
conscious parenting. That is permissive parenting. Conscious parenting takes into account the thoughts, feelings, and needs of everybody involved in the system. Everybody, parents included. Hitting is not acceptable. It's not an acceptable way to communicate your feelings. Certainly
Mhm.
not with me, certainly not somebody who is highly triggered by being hit in the face. And I've had to do about 18 years of therapy and counting to be
Mm.
able to keep myself grounded in the moment of being struck in this way, and to not make it about him hitting me, and really make it about me being clear with him what my body boundaries are. And so when I set boundaries in this way, what I'm doing is I'm teaching my children and everybody who I set a boundary with, this is how we get to be in relationship together. This is how we get to feel safe together. This is how you get to be safe with me. And this is how I get to be safe with you. Because at the end of the day, what all human beings are really seeking is connection and relational safety.
Mhm.
That's all we want.